Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here, coming at you again with another video over on Ark Survival Ascended, and I wanted to give you one that will hopefully help you out a lot in your decision-making process, or if you've already bought it and you're trying to justify reasons, right? The game has been out for 2 weeks now, right? So I want to show you, I've played way too many hours, almost the entire 2 weeks. And I want to show you 15 reasons that I have come up with, essentially, that are reasons that you should buy and keep playing Ark Survival Ascended. Now, a lot of people are freaking out over things, and I've been the first to admit that there are definitely things they need to fix. However, these are 15 reasons that you should check out this game. Now, if you don't mind, smash that like button, leave a comment below for the algorithm or whatever you have to change or say. I'll try and respond to as much as I can, and then consider subbing to the channel. And I've become close to 100,000. That's been my dream all along. All right, so the number one reason that I think that you should at least check this out. I'm going to fly around while I'm doing this just so you guys can see some of the cool things and like all the changes that they really are making and how beautiful this game truly is. The number one, truly, the game going forward is no longer Ark Survival Evolved, nor is it really Ark 2. Right now, Ark Survival Ascended is the main plan. You can see that the graphics look amazing. I am running a 3090 Ti, which isn't even the highest end graphic card, and it looks like a much better it looks like a totally different game almost, right? Like just looking out at this picture, you can see the clouds, you can see all that stuff. And the point that I say this is because Ark's long-term goal is this game for the time being. Ark 2 is not even going to be in the same realm as this game, by the way. It's totally different. The game itself is going to be completely changed, and it's more of a survival game from that true perspective instead of a multiplayer game. So basically what I'm trying to tell you with that is that right now, this is the long-term product going forward. That is the biggest reason you should check it out. So if you're a big fan of Ark, this is what you're going to want to use. This is the game to play. That's it. Now, the second thing I want to bring up to you is moving forwards in the first week, there have already been an insane amount of updates. They're almost releasing updates for server optimization, game optimization, cheats, all that kind of stuff on a multiple a day basis. I've seen probably 1 or 2 for the last like 2 weeks, give or take, in upwards of probably 15, 20 different releases that actually make the game better. Ark Survival Evolved, they were doing that maybe once a week, maybe every other week, whereas now they're kind of doing it on a regular basis, making it so, like, for example, when I first got the game, if I flew in a direction, I was like lagging and there was nothing that I could do. Now I can do that very easily in GCM, transport myself all over the world and kind of see all the different stuff in super pretty fashion, right? Right now, they are going with this game moving forwards, and they are showing that they care by constantly releasing updates. People aren't happy sometimes with the updates that are being released, but overall, it is a very, like, look at that screenshot. That is it. I gotta, like, just to show you, right? Like, it used to lag out your entire computer. This might even be, like, look at this. That's just cool, right? Like, I mean, obviously, there's a little line back there, but if you didn't know about photo mode, like, just small things like this make this game so cool. Like, I can take photos and stop and do all this neat stuff. Like, look at this, right? Like, that's just a cool photograph. I'm going to go ahead and exit photo mode. I'm going to exit to main menu to show you what I mean. But, like, everything's being changed in this game in order to actually change all the stuff to make it a better game for you. Now, the third thing I want to bring up to you, the graphics update. The graphics update has been introduced, and yes, it is a very high-end graphics game. However, it can also be scaled however you need it to be, and you can control that. You can control whether you want high settings, low settings, medium settings, changing how certain things interact with you. You can even go into console commands and change how things spawn into the game so your game doesn't lag as much. You can control your FPS. You can show an FPS tracker. Everything is kind of modified so you can have the experience that you want inside of Ark. The graphics update, like, look at this, right? Like, this looks so much better than Ark did. It's not even in the same ball game when you have it on the higher end of graphics. Now, you can turn all these all the way down and it still looks better, in my opinion, than Ark Survival Evolved. But that's kind of an important factor for a lot of people, is that graphics being amazing. So that's number 3. Number 4, I brought them up for a brief second before I was talking about this, but using console commands, I can literally modify this game to whatever I want it to be, right? I can turn this down, I can turn the grass off, I can turn the material down, I can turn water down, I can turn anything down and customize the game to my experience, because I want to play how I want to play and I don't want to be told what I should and shouldn't do. Now, I know I'm making a video conveniently about why you should buy this game, but this is the reason that I like it is because you can go in and make your game custom to what you want it to be. I want to remove all the grass because I don't care about that, remove it. I want to remove the clouds, remove the clouds. Whatever you want to do, they made it so you can customize this Ark Survival Ascended experience to what you want it to be using console commands. And that's a huge, huge update, right? Now the next thing, right? Number 5, new structures. This is the first time in a very long time that Ark has introduced a new structure system. They've got quarter walls, they've got opening doors, they've got behemoth size stuff. I'll just show you what I mean by that. So like you can see I got quarter walls, quarter railings, and they've also made it so it's actually increased. Like if I open the quarter wall, I can turn this into a triangle as well. And that's a really neat thing, right? So I can turn these just the interface itself, right? Like in order to build these new structures is phenomenal. Like there's a whole bunch of them. You can use them in different ways. And that's just something that's super convenient and easy for everyone. And it's, again, a welcome feature. Adding new stuff in is what makes us want to play this game even more. So those new structures are a huge deal. Now, while they introduced those new structures, what they also introduced was an insane amount of new mechanics. Anything from I would have the ability to use my hold R and activate all my weaponry. I've got the ability to use things on the move, open my inventory on the move. I've got the ability to adjust things on the move, mod integrations, all kinds of new mechanics have been introduced in the game with new dino features, new dino commands, new dino. There's a whole bunch. Even though, yes, this is at its core a concept of Ark Survival Evolved, there's a whole bunch of new mechanics that kind of makes it feel like a 1.5 more than a true direct port over into Ark. And you can see that there's even new mechanics going as far as looking at the dino color schemes, right? You can see that they look better. The dinos actually look better. The graphics update with the new mechanics that they've received, it makes this game exponentially better. Now, some people are like, oh, I don't like how you use the word exponentially. Sorry, Ben, let me know in the comments how I'm stupid. But that's my next thing. Number 7, right? Dino AI. This one is one of my favorite updates. I'm going to go ahead and punch this Argentavis or get its attention, right? So what the game did is they essentially reworked how things get to you. You used to be able to use trees and things like that in order to hide from these creatures, right? And you could kind of like pin them on the other side. However, what they do, you saw, instead of just like kind of glitching through this, it actually takes a different angle and moves and takes a circle. So the UI of dinos inside of this game, dinos and creatures, has greatly increased. They have made it very difficult to escape, and it's very difficult to trap dinos, making it a brand new game. So AI was greatly improved, and that's a huge reason. Now, number 8, right? You've seen it a little bit, the UI. Now, the user interface, which is what I mean when I say UI, is massively overhauled. They've introduced a ridiculous amount of stuff. They've made it simple. They've made it easy. I can hold certain buttons and access hidden menus. All kinds of convenient features have been added in to make the UI of Ark, even back to the regular menu, right? If I go back into the generic menu when I open up the game, it's very simple. It's very streamlined. There's nothing super difficult or convoluted. Even the settings menus, right? Like, you've got very generic keys and know exactly where to go and hit what you specifically want to hit in order to change your settings. The UI has been overhauled, and it is a massive thing that a lot of people notice that I love. When you simplify things for me in a very complex game, it makes me very happy, because yes, I can go into this game and make things super complex and do what I want. However, I do prefer when I do it in a streamlined fashion. So streamlining that UI is a major reason why you should consider getting this game. Now, the next thing, right? They've even gone so far as to completely rework their map and tracking systems. So I can track things successfully using this right here. You can see updating where all my tames are. I can track their location. It's updating their info, and I can click on them and figure specific where they are and ping them on my map. You can see I can add it to a point of interest and then add it to that map that I just showed you, where I can interact with the map itself, create waypoints, and highlight individual areas. Now, that is a huge change, right? It used to be on the old map that just existed and you kind of had a general idea. These are specific coordinates, and you can see point in like, you can use this to get the actual lawn lat of an area, including adding waypoints like you see on my map already. That's a massive feature, and that kind of goes unnoticed by a lot of people, because it's a quality of life thing that they just changed exponentially, making your gameplay a better experience. Now, I'm going to change the time of day again, like I said earlier, right? Where's my change it? I thought I had a set time of day command in here recently. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, I do. Okay. So set time of day, 8 o'clock. But again, the point of that, you can change immediately using the console commands to make your game what you want it to be. Now, that's a massive thing, right? So that's it. Now, the next thing, This is kind of an interesting one. I didn't think this was going to happen, but my 10th reason is there a huge new player base inside of Ark Survival Ascended. A whole bunch of people that never played this game before, never played Ark Survival Evolved, have ported over to Ark Survival Ascended, and they've decided that they want to play the game. Now, that's good and bad, because we've got all your old players. Some people are slowly converting over from Ark Survival Evolved and moving to Ark Survival Ascended, but the player base is massive right now, and it's growing. It's not getting smaller. I thought it was going to get smaller. I'll be the first to admit that I was wrong. It is actually getting much larger overall when you look at the player count, and now that consoles are going to be released here in the next couple of weeks, the player base is going to get massive, and being able to play cross-console, that is a huge feature that the new player base is going to be something that a lot of people should be looking forward to. Now the next one, point 11, right? Though, yes, I am currently on the island map. You can see that I'm on the island. Everything's running smoothly. There are some small things that are issues, but no major problems that I've noticed, and it looks better. So I want to bring this up, right? The Ark we know had, what, 9 maps total that were considered official or official-like maps. They are reworking every single one of those in order to pump them out into Ark Survival Ascended. Now, it is something that's going to happen over time, but again, to me, that means that we're going to have reworked maps with a lot of the glitches and stuff that are present fixed. Now, there will be new ones, but there's a lot of things that they're planning on fixing in those maps, including new creatures, new features, new everything. Every time they release a map, I got a feeling they're going to have a new dino and a new feature of some sort, or a new structure or something. It's going to be like the rebuild of Ark, and I love seeing rebuilds over time. I loved this game for the last 8 years that it's been out, and I'll probably love Ark Survival Ascended for the next many years that it is also out. It's the game that I love to play, and seeing those new maps being reworked, especially with the maps like the center, right, that kind of like got lost to time. Even though it's one of people's favorites maps, it kind of just got released and no major changes ever happened. Ragnarok, all those Fjordor, lots of awesome changes are coming into our maps, and I love that concept. Now, next thing I want to show you is the character creation process. If you haven't seen it, you can make your character into something, and this is my 12th reason, by the way, into whatever you want it to be. Let's just go ahead, and I'm just going to go back in a single player. I thought I could edit it that way, but no big deal. You can make a character whatever you want it to be, and you can change literally every aspect of your player, and I think that is super cool. I thought that was one thing that really lacked in Ark, that if I had a more custom, I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys another cool feature, right? If I hold inventory, this is another one of those UI things that I'm talking about. There's a respawn option. I'll go ahead and click it here, and boop, and all of a sudden my character's dead, and then I've respawned. Now, it's also going to be a create new survivor. You can see that, yes, this is my character base model. You can do whatever you want. You can make massive humans. You can make tiny humans. You can do this. You can do that. You can change torso, head, arms, legs, everything. Eye color, skin color, hair tip color, eyebrow color. Everything can be changed inside of your character. And I think that's a super awesome feature. You can make it as goofy. They added kind of fat versus skinny into the game instead of just muscle. And there's just some really cool options that you have. Now, I'm going to go and respawn my existing survivor because I don't want to lose this survivor. But there's a lot of really cool things that you can add and change into the game for character creation. And that's a massive reason for a lot of people that want to play with the character they want to play with. Now, 13th reason, right? I'll go back to the menu to show you this one. Integrated mods. This is a small thing that people don't really take for granted, because they have a mod integration list already built into the base game, which is a very rare thing, with a very simple to use thing where you either search for it, you see what you have, or you can select some of the featured release date installs and updates, all things like that. So categories. It's a very convenient UI, and it's a great thing to have integrated mods into a game, because a lot of people over time don't just want to play generic Ark. That's just not how it works. People want to play new things, and this gives you a constant new thing. There were thousands, if not tens of thousands of mods for Ark Survival Evolved, and there will probably be the same way for Ark Survival Ascended, because people love this game. Now, because I just brought this up, people love this game and I brought up mods, right? People are going to play a ridiculous number of hours on unofficial and solo players, because I highly recommend avoiding official servers. Unfortunately, it seems like the ASE crowd that played official kind of moved into the ASA crowd, and the same toxic shenanigans that has always been a thing in Ark has moved over to ASA. Now that does suck, but because of that, I really encourage you to play on unofficial server networks that you know people, that people can be held for accountable for their stupid things they do, or just because it's a better community, or playing solo. I love playing solo in this game because if I'm going to be messing around with things and changing things and rotating and doing all this kind of cool stuff, I like to be able to hit pause and then just back out. Let's say I wanted to pause right now, right? Being able to just back out of the game, that's a huge thing to have that opportunity. So don't just think that you have to play on official networks. Play the game on some unofficial networks. Play with some people you didn't think you'd ever play with. Play RP servers. Play builder protected servers. Play PvP servers. Play everything. Play by yourself. It's a lot of fun, and it's really a paradise for unofficial and solo players. Now, the last thing that I wanted to bring up in my 15th reason why I think you should get and purchase or continue to play Ark Survival Ascended, right? This game provided me, I'm just going to give you an approximate number, I probably have around 10,000 hours into Ark Survival Evolved overall. I'd be willing to bet I'll probably be able to put something like that into Ark Survival Ascended because of all of the content that you get. Now, yes, at the base layer, this is a game that you survive in and tame dinos, but there's so many more features that people forget that exist inside of this game, right? There's farm building, there's base building, there's boss beating, there's PvP competition should you want to get that far involved, there's exploring of the map, there's tons of caves that exist for purposes with special challenges inside of each cave. I think there's over 160 dinos at this point or something like that. There is such a plethora of things you can do, from fishing, like just generic in-game things. I know there's systems and mods and stuff like that in place that add thousands of hours each time you get a new mod. It's crazy, and all the updates they're going to release are adding more and more content, so you will have thousands of hours of stuff to play this game and never experience the same thing once or twice in the same area, right? Unless you're purposely trying to experience the same thing over and over. Ark is one of those rare games, like your LOL, like your WOW, or your WoWs, your LOLs, Counter-Strikes, all of those that have continued playability because they've got a different thing and a different way you can modify and create your character and your experience to what you want it to be. Ark is one of those games that I love for that reason. It lets me do what I want, whether or not I want to be whatever I want to be in Ark and have an awesome character or do this or do that. Ark is one of those rare games where you can do whatever you want to do, and it's just fun, right? You get to escape into a world of primeval, I guess you could say it, old school, millions of years ago, and dive into a world of somewhat accurate dinos where you can imagine what it's like to be a human in those time frames. So that is 15 reasons why I think you need to buy Ark Survival Ascended and things that you should check this game out for. So hopefully this is something that helps you out. Again, if you don't mind, smash that like button, leave a comment below, and consider subbing the channel. All right, Teach.